Good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. New shirt in the post today. Feeling good, feeling good. I've readjusted some of the settings and stuff like that tonight, guys, so I'm just going to turn the mic up a little bit. So the mic's not been at this high a volume for a little while because of like background noise and stuff. I've had one or two comments kind of recently about like the mic and stuff, and I think it's just the mic's too close to the computer, so I've tried to separate them. I've done a wee bit of effort with that tonight. And in terms of like some of the lag and stuff like we've had over the last week or two, tried to readjust the settings of the camera and a few different bits and pieces. So any feedback of stream quality as we're going through it, by all means feel free to let me know and get stuck in the live chat down below. But yeah, got a really good stream lined up. I don't think it's really going to be too long, so if you're watching this after we've been live, thank you very much for joining us. Everyone who does come to the stream, please, if you could be so kind as to smash the like button, helps a man out. But the big event of the week, unless something unless something as of now unannounced was to happen, the big thing is going to be seeing those prize pools tomorrow. See, as soon as the new game week opens up, the one for the weekend, this is the prize pool. You know, there's been a lot of like, I know today I kind of caught up with some of the golden auction stuff that was going on. I don't think I know everything that happened, but I think it was a bit of jiggery pokery around just trying to squeeze money out of people, from what I've read, is all. But with a lot of the other stuff that's been kind of banding about in terms of like the prize pool satisfaction and the size of this region and that division and this and that and the other thing, like it's a dynamic system. We've had another division come on board recently, which has been lovely. Even with that aside, that should amplify this even more, but this is the game week where I want to see the tippy top of all these divisions. You know, do we get that super rare back into D3? Do we get that unique back into D2? This has to be the game week where those kind of details are revealed, and if it is possible, because the weekend we're just coming out of, Star Super Rares were available, and you know that's with one European league back, which has just been the French league so far, and Belgium. You know, so starting at Holland, Russia's back, granted. I think Portugal's just about back, but we've still to get Italy, Spain, and Germany back. You know, which are big leagues and SoRare. Germany could probably do with a bit of growth in actual fact, but you understand the point. This should be the game week, the mother of all. You know, everything is running pretty much. I don't think if there's anything missing in the next game week, it's slipped off my attention because there's just so much on. I think all my players are eligible to play in some way, shape or form. So I'm very much looking forward to the Thursday stream. Now, before we get stuck into this stream, there might be a bit of a Mount Rushmore event happening later this week, so stay tuned and keep your ear to the ground and see what happens. But it should be organised. I think everything should be rocking. So there might be a good curtain raiser for the game week coming, so it should be good fun. I see all you guys are popping up on the live chat. I'm just thinking if there's any other kind of little housekeeping things I need to do before we get stuck in. Pretty much usual stuff. If there's any questions or any thoughts or feedback or info or whatever from the stuff I've already spoke about, like the golden auction stuff, the prize pool coming for the game week, any of that stuff, guys, that's the sort of shit I want to see in the live chat now, especially when I'm kind of flitting between subjects and whatever, because these are the main things that are at the front of my mind now. I've just began recording, or re-recording I should say. I'm going to move my seat so I just get a wee glimpse of how close I am to the camera. There we go, that's a bit better. I'm re-recording the depth chart video, right? So I've already recorded a segment or two of it, right? But this is the board that we left last time, and even you guys at home, this maybe gives something to look at, right? But this is the depth chart I did, like, how old is that video now? Like 3 weeks or something? And it's wildly out of date already. I didn't even have on this, like, Champ Euro D3, I don't even have under 23 D4 on it. You know, I've got a lot more now actually in play that I wasn't even aware of. Guys like Schubert's nowhere on this. I've now got Furuhashi. I've sold a few of these guys like Higuain and a few other bits and pieces. So I'm going to be updating that video and kind of revisiting that kind of over the next few days. I'll be recording it in segments. You probably notice my clothes changes all the way through it because it's going to be a long slog, and especially with this game week. It's about to come out at the weekend, but on the horizon already. Did my SoRare data squad builder thing for that. I'll maybe give you a wee glance over that. I don't want to ruin the party for Thursday, but yeah. So this is going to be a lot of fun to make. I don't know how long the actual video will be. I hope you have fun watching it whenever it does come out. But yeah. Anyway, like I say, guys, audio and all that stuff. Keep me on the loop how well that's panning out as well. Just because obviously I've moved things about, and I don't know if I'm clear enough, loud enough, whatever. So yeah, feel free to keep me up to speed with that. But in any case, let's catch up with you guys in the live chat. Seems to be a fair few of you buzzing about already. Don't forget to smash that like button while you're here, guys. Up the Barcelona de Masaki. I fucking love it. Good to see you. Robert Turner's here as well with us. So is Jonathan Roberts. 11 DNPs across the lineups, plus the Tanny OG. I didn't even, Jonathan Roberts, if you played Tanny, then fair play to you, son. I didn't even want to play any of my guys like that. I knew Barco was back in town. He left Argentina, got eliminated a bit before Japan. Of course, I know they were the home nation, but I didn't even play Barco this game week, and he shot a 90 plus with 2 goals, which was a right kick in the teeth. And wait till you see some of the scores I have, like you'll see how much of a kick in the teeth that is. But 11 DNPs is brutal. It really is, mate. I seen Leeds RW had a team with 5 DNPs, and I'm like, Jesus, man, you've got to get a tier 3 rare for that, man. Shrew 1886, good to see you, my man. Jonathan Roberts, boom, good to see you. Evan, good evening. Just back from Anfield, buzzing for next week. The Premier League is back. Yes, big VVDs in town. I seen Robbo the day. He's in a boot. Doesn't sound like Robbo's going to be starting the season. When I see boot, I think like 6 weeks might be. I don't really know the extent of injury, but that's just the kind of figure that pops into my head when I see somebody that boot and crutches, you know. But VVD starting the season should be good. I think him and Kanate and Allison, that is going to be like, could potentially be a legendary like setup, you know, for the next season or two. Stefan, good to see you, my man. I think I won Asia D4, Stefan. No sauce. I hope it pays off. Oh, mate. I hope you've won it as well. No sauce. I'm just saying that 'cause that's who everyone will be watching it for in the leaderboard. That's my man Stefan. Johnny Boy is in the house. Boom. Good to see you, John. Thanks for joining us live. And any luck this week, Jonathan? Well, do you know, it was really funny going into Saturday night. I was on track for like 5 or 6 cards. You'll soon see where I've got to, but it's been a really good game week. And in some kind of respects, you'll kind of see what I've got. Aman, even guys, it seems like 70% of my players had a dip in form this game week. Yeah, I know that feeling with some of mine. Just a tad been. Oh, sorry, Jonathan. It's Jonathan Roberts. Been a good few weeks. Jonathan Roberts has been killing it. I'm pretty sure you won a division recently, Jonathan. You podiumed, am I right? There's 2 Jonathans in my live chat, so that does confuse me sometimes. Mikey Basson, that's a great offer for that Robbo, 0.05, but I don't think I'll be able to take you up on that. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, Sugar and Spice. 2 seconds, guys. I need to fix that page. Sorry, bear with me a moment. I thought I'd done it already, I beg your pardon. So the first thing we'll be kicking off with, guys, with the stream tonight is, of course, where we're leaving the last game week. Okay, so as soon as I set this up, we'll be diving into SoRare data. Now, what I'm going to do tonight, which is a little bit different, is I'm actually going to start off in the SoRare Data League and the Flint Michigan Mega Bowl, because I always forget about those things right till the end, and I don't think I'm giving those competitions, you know, the respect they deserve, you know. So that'll be happening first on tonight's programming. Oh Jesus, I've messed up this page there, Dave, doing something. Sorry guys, bear with me a moment. Oh, come on, you just move. Oh, I've got no idea what's going on. It doesn't matter too much, that'll do. Oi oi. Anyway, I beg your pardon guys, sorry for bearing with me through the technical difficulties. But that should be us there now. Lovely job, Len. Okay, so I'm on SoRare. I don't know how to do that. I want to put the live chat over here. There we go. Sorted. So this is my SoRare Data League lineup now. As you remember, I went balls to the wall. I thought I'm going to use the SoRare Data League for all its intricacies and tactics and strategy and everything. And I'm going to play Navas, the potential DNP goalkeeper, because if he hits, no many other people would have him, and he's got a good chance of hitting a really good score. Without a clean sheet, brought home a 58, so I'm quite chuffed with that. Defence did okay, Matarita was shit. Midfield was okay. Up front was okay. Furuhashi did really well, of course, and the bench was the bench. But I think I've just lost out to this boy here, Pasiro. 654 he's came home with. Look at his midfield 4, man. Bang, 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 bang. And then Medina's let him down. I don't think I picked Medina, but I'm in that Medina club. Oh, Fukumori, he must have played today or something. Or who's that? Urawa played today. 100, wow. So this guy kicked my ass. Oh look, there's a new Bubakar picture. See that? There's a new Bubakar picture. So I lost on that for the looks of it, because he brought home 654 and I'm on 636. So it was kind of close, you know. It wasn't a walkover or anything, but it was a loss all the same. So I couldn't make good on my momentum from beating Black in the previous game week. I've kind of let that slip again. I seen a SoRare Data League. It's such fine margins, man. Like if you have like a bad 2 players or something, it can really do you in. So I'm sitting second in this, and I really don't know why or how, because I'm not trying to win it, you know, because I want you guys to win it. Dazza is up in front, and if you take me out of the equation, 5 points off of any other contender. One of the @SIT boys made it into this competition, which I love. Marcus, J Fraz and Love the Leeds are all tied on 9, so it is quite tight at the top. I think the bottom half have probably just sacked it off. So it is kind of a 4-way fight, if you like, for that card that will be issued out to the winner. And then with my SO5, you'll see what I've got now. So I managed to get a lot of teams out, and you'll remember from the Thursday stream, how excited I was about getting these teams out. But at the end, we're just coming home with another super rare, and I know I say that maybe sounding like a brat, right? I think from now it's either 5 out of 8 or 5 out of 7 or 4 out of 7. One of those ratios. It's one of those three. I've not worked it out yet. Or just D2 pulls from entries. You know, I've had like 7 entries or so, maybe 8, and I've won 4 or 5 super rares now. Once I get this one in the door, which is a good ratio to be operating at, certainly. But this under 23 D2, I had the Galaxy boys hit big time. It's really Acevedo that's let me down. You could maybe say the goalkeeper, but playing a rare goalkeeper, picking home 40 points, I think that's what you go into the competition thinking, if I get that, I can live with it. You know, you've got to accept that. You've got to hope your captain pays off, which he did. Your striker gets a goal, which he does. And your defender can get 60 or more, which he did. But my boy Acevedo started on the bench, and he still got 37 points from, you know, how many minutes did they play? Tell us in this little thing. No, it doesn't tell us here, but 20. There we go. 26 minutes. So he did carry some weight off the bench. He really did go for it. Unfortunately, I never get much of a second half contribution from Alvarez or Cabral. One of them going a little bit more would have been a big difference, because look, 20 points from podium in 6th place. And you just see how tight it is. I was in 4th, and then some of and I was like 4 points off of podium. And then the Japanese games or whatever ran today, and I'm now in 6th, and I'm 20 places off, 20 points off the podium. But as you see, like 61 points to win it. If I dropped out Acevedo and put in Barco, I'd get 60 points plus multiplier extra-ish for Barco. So I would have won this division at an absolute breeze had I played Barco. Had I had a set of balls and thought, nah, Barco and Alvarez and Kessler, I've had those 3 guys forever with this kind of thing in mind. And I guess they kind of shite it and think Acevedo will play because Parks picked up a red, blah blah blah. Try to play a wee bit safe, and sometimes you've got to be a wee bit brave and back your guys, because Barco was on the bench in the last game, so he did have every right to play, but I just shat it on him. And if I went through all these, I'm not going to kill you too much with it, but Joe Davis let me down in this one, All-Star D2. The goalkeeper and defender killed it. Midfielders got away with a par score, I would say. 19 points off of a super rare, with a rare striker pulling in a 31 is a really good outfield goal. You know, I shat it from putting Larson in that team, because I thought maybe he doesn't get the minutes to get a good score in. He pulled in 60 without a decisive. Larson is just an absolute fucking killer in Manila. You know, they lost 2-1, so that's kind of re-taught me a lesson about Larson. I think I learn that with him maybe every 2 or 3 months or so, to be honest with you. I could even have put Furuhashi up here, but I just thought, Leo, do you know what, this is an important lesson for you guys at home as well as myself, right? But with that, you know, it's 3 each against Mets, right? Lille, and there was another team that came into my head, I can't remember who it was now, but Lille and somebody else, maybe you guys in the comment section can help me, but a SoRare licensed team, Spartak Moscow, that's exactly who it was. Spartak Moscow and Lille have had very different starts to the season versus the way they finished the last season, even with very similar, borderline identical personnel. And of course, as you'll know, the same similarity both those clubs have is, even though they were successful, their manager just walked away basically for one reason or another. We won't go into the specifics. And that's something I've kind of overlooked with both of those teams when I backed them this game week, and it is something that I will have to become a bit cautious of, because away to Mets should have been, you know, they scored 3 goals, you know. I don't really know the new guy. I don't think he comes in with a big reputation. I do remember them appointing him. I think he's quite well read and educated and whatever, experienced to some extent, whatever. But definitely, if I had that kind of reminded myself of that fact, I don't think I'd have put Joe David in All-Star D2. I think I'm quite right in maybe going along with that. Who would I put in his place? Who knows? But maybe Vela. But I don't know if Vela would have got us the points, an extra 20 or so. Oh no, he would have. Even if I did put Vela in there, he probably would have got us over the line. What's the kick in the balls? But anyway, All-Star D3, the boys up front turned up. Aronson, just get Salzburg players, is that what everyone said? 30 points and a 1-0 win. And how many minutes did he get? Oh, sugar, I did that last game week, sorry guys. How many minutes did he get? Pretty sure he get 90? Yeah. What let him down? Won a tackle, lost possession a lot, lost a lot of duels, and missed a couple of passes. You know, so without that decisive, you know, so just buy Salzburg players. SO5 is so much more intricate than that, because like good, really good players. Now, don't get me wrong, there's players that can bully leagues and play below them, play in the league below themselves, that kind of thing as well. But football is football. You know, it's 11 men against 11 men. Not every team wins like 7-0 every game at the top level. And I know that was a tougher match as well in Austria Vienna. Don't get me wrong, but that is a little lesson to be, you know, like it is that there's more than one way to pull winning cards. It's not just from Salzburg. It's kind of the real point. The All-Star D4 did okay as well, I suppose. Close to a card. Got the EFA a canter. DNP killed us here, the captain as well. 80 points, call it 90 off of a card. If we got a good captain in here, I don't know who else it could have possibly been, and maybe we could have won something there. Fortunately, Grand Seer actually scored really shit despite playing a really good first half. I didn't see the second half, I fell asleep. But fortunately, he was in a team with other shit guys, so I can live with that. The Galacy, I've just told Galacy today, I bought him for the internationals. I'm kind of done with him now, so anyway, don't need him. But he didn't go out with a bang. 50 points, and he's not back from his injury yet, so... And Mason Toy didn't do much. How many minutes did Mason Toy get, actually? That's something I do want to be aware of. 34 minutes. Okay, I didn't really notice that. DNP in Asia killed me as well. Like, this team was going really strong. Look at that. 32 points off of a card with a captain DNP. Oh, do you know, if you're watching Laird or Black in this competition here, Champion America D3, because I was so tentative on Medina and even, you know, just Vela, because I think the fixture, I think it was a wee bit shaky, wasn't it? I can't remember who it was. I don't care too much anymore. But I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to captain my goalkeeper, and I'll make a wee mental note of how it goes and maybe bring it up for you guys. So there you go. I captained Sean Johnson, and I was 92 points away from a card. Take that as you will. And then we've come back to the dream team that did pull the card. So, oh, you see I've got a lot of good scores here. Just a DNP or two here. Bad selection choice there. This just really kicked me in the stones. I'll give you a little glance, right? Just a little glance, a wee sneaky glance over just how much I've got prepped for the next game week. This is pretty much the team I've got for this game week, but I'll come to that in a moment. Can I close this section down? So I've got like, guys, I'm just going to scroll. I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up in a minute. These are all the teams I've got for the next game week. I've got 12 amazingly good teams. I say amazingly good teams. They're all like, they've all got a merit to them, you know. Anyway, I'll catch up with you guys back in the comments, see what you are up to. It's been quite a lot, I'm sorry guys. Shrewsbury Wilson in the house, good to see my man. I see quite a lot going on here. XMK, guys, I've missed tons tonight, I'm sorry. Just read your above comment, rough. Sorry man, I've totally lost. Josh Fourth's in the house. Nearly won my first D3 Asia prize. Mark Lely, unlucky. Oh, you had a guy picking up 100. Asia can be so competitive because there is, like, Asia's one of those leagues that you get a lot. I say one of those leagues as if there's a few of them. Asia is a league where this happens, right? Where, like, a lot of players can score really high without that kind of air quote Salzburg kind of stereotype happening. Yes, I know Kawasaki do run teams over and whatever, but you can get guys in like all sorts of matches pulling out crazy scores because it's such a technical league. There's lots of passing, lots of progression on possession, that kind of thing. So, you know, Asia's weirdly competitive as well as unfancied by, you know, the moderate to passive SoRare manager. Like anyone else barely get any players? Yeah, I'm pretty much the same when it's all said and done. Mikey Basson, good to see my man. Game week started fantastically on the Friday, but it just petered out. Just threshold only for you, buddy. So rare Italian Telegram or something. Oh, is that what it is? Is it the SoRare Italian Telegram? Oh yeah, I'm in the Telegram for, I think it must be the English one or something, but I've never really opened Telegram. It's like a cool wee app and all that, but Moldy, good to see you, my man. Elliot of Philly, John Judge of Shanghai, Weigel of Benfica, and Supelvda of the Caxa. Ouch. Yeah, definitely expected more from Aronson as well. Sorry guys, I'm catching most of these. Johnny Boy, what you saying? Show me who he'd be playing. Yarmchik will play, I'd imagine. Sefrovic is injured and not sure. Yeah, Darwin like is no. I've not seen Darwin anywhere near the squad. Simon was also asking me about him. He's heavily linked to Brighton. John's dropping whale emojis. Tough one. Or maybe it's when you've seen the teams and stuff. Hendo's in the house, good to see you, my man. I scored 318 in Asia D4 and finished 173. I'm still scared the card, well done. Very high scoring week it is indeed. And this is the thing, guys, with these game weeks, is when they come thick and fast, the scoring bar does go up. So like normally when I'm setting these teams up, like especially the big game week that's coming up, when I'm looking at a game week like that, for like the divisions that require super rares, 400 is the kind of like, this team has to have that on the table for me to be motivated by it or see it as a worthwhile exercise of players. You know, if there's a few of them I'm on the fence with, is there anyone I can revisit? And you guys see that every week, you know. And with the D4s, I think 350 is a good number to kind of shoot for. But in these game weeks where it is like all sorts of shit's happening, so much unknowns, T&Cs will be all over the place, goalkeepers, all sorts of stuff will happen. You know, somebody was talking earlier about a Tanny OG. There'll be a goalkeeper that gives away a penalty. There'll be a goalkeeper that gets sent off. You know, there'll be all sorts of stuff. There'll be a random striker T&P that wipes out half the field, or you know, so much stuff is going to happen the next game week, and subsequently the scoring. But you are going to need to get the best score imaginable in game weeks like this, which is why I expect the prize pool to be so generous. This game week, the prize pool, the midweek is obviously very minimal, there's not much competition. The only thing I could maybe squeeze out, I could do a D3 with 1 SR, but for the places to only go to 16th and not pick up ETH basically, nah, no thank you. There's 4,000 people in here, and I think me and those other 4,000 people are probably in the exact same frame of mind where this game week I do not give a fuck. Just make sure I get that little bit of ETH in, and if I get top 80 then cool. This is the team I'm rocking with. I have a few alternatives, not much, but I'm actually quite hopeful it can do pretty well. Like I say, I'm aiming for 350 with a team like this. I think Furuhashi can get, including the captain bonus and all that kind of stuff, he can definitely get close to 100 by himself. Marcos Jr.'s dropped in 270s back to back, and if you look at his last 10, his scoring is doing pretty well. So, you know, and again, Sunjic, you can see he's good for the 60s again, and Monaco at home, I'd expect that to be 60. So Sunjic and Nubo should be 120. Let's say Furuhashi can bring in 80, that's 200. So I'm then expecting a 75 average between Sangar and Marcos Jr. And then you bring in those multipliers at the bottom. You know, I've got 10.5% on Sangarda now, you know, 7% on Nubo. There'll be a fair amount of Nubos in this region, but not many will have 7% on them. So I'm actually, you know, that could get 350 to 400, and if I get that kind of score out of that team, we could pull something out of it. That is literally, guys, with the matches we've got on, the only outfit I'm putting out this midweek. I don't want to spoil anything that's going to happen Thursday by talking teams and all that kind of stuff. So I will be diving into the live chat, questions and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. What's going on is welcome, of course. And I think otherwise I'll just be talking about cards and galleries and stuff like that. Maybe pop about the market for a little while until I get bored, and then I'll just call it a night and leave you to it, because I think, yeah, just thinking out loud with you guys here. So we've got Champions League qualifiers, and again, I don't think we've got full coverage on all the games and stuff, because I'm pretty sure there is a team. I'd seen somebody chatting. Oh no, do you know what it was? I was listening to American Twitter. I was watching stuff about America or whatever, and they were talking about like SKC are playing Leon, and this team are playing fucking Tigres or whatever. And I was thinking, oh cool, there's like CONCACAF Champions League, some shit's going on. And I looked into it, and it's like this Mexican American Cup. I've kind of heard them talking about it on podcasts and stuff, but it's like they've just kind of tried to make it up as another kind of domestic competition for them to kind of spar off with and get strong, you know, just spirit of competition and all that. And it's not scored on SO5, so I don't give a fuck. But so that you will notice, some of your guys will get notifications this midweek, and they're not going to be in action. Henan Janet, you know, my wee boy Tori Sunjic in this team, by the way, like, they're a good wee resilient outfit. I've actually quite liked watching his scores come in. We've got one K-League match. This Guangzhou, they get beat quite a lot, I think, so Jumbuck should be running all over it. I still need, River Plate and Miniero. That's going to be a big fixture for any of you guys out there involved in that. Club America, Philadelphia, and I knew about that. I don't really have any Philly players, but that could be interesting for the Philly cards this midweek. Monterey Cruz Azul. We've got one game in the J League, Yokohama and Nagoya, and then we've got some Europa League qualifiers with the teams that you know about, of course. We've got Feyenoord, we've got Aberdeen, Vitesse, Last Glints now, they're fully licensed, and we've got like one really Celtic card, kind of two. And then I don't think we have any CACs or anything, do we? No. So it's quite a dry middle of the week game week, just qualification games and whatever. Most of them are, this is a really interesting game, and the next midweeks, by the way, will be really good because Benfica won't be playing Spartak Moscow again. They'll both still be in the qualification process, but Benfica will have advanced and Spartak will have dropped down to Europa. So next midweek, I think we'll have a lot more happy SoRare users out there because Benfica and Moscow will not be playing each other. And if you have cards from both teams, then you can kind of play them guilt-free and be a bit more kind of single-minded in your approach rather than trying to second-guess the result, the tactics, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, quiet midweek. How are you guys getting on for teams? Are you getting much out? I've got something to do with my training. I've just not clicked my ticks. Gotta click those ticks, man. Gotta click those ticks. You'll see I've built up a little bit of a wallet. I did a little post talking about the cards I'd won and sold over July, and I've kind of rolled into August, kind of the same. And I did sell Galesi, who wasn't a reward or anything, but I did buy him kind of frivolously, and I'm glad to kind of sell him when ETH is back up. I did take a hit on the ETH. I think I paid like 0.35 for him. Don't remember what the price of ETH was at the time. You can go check it, or I suppose I could go check it, couldn't I? And to sell him now for 0.28, considering what ETH is, I'm quite content with that. Especially as well, he's won me a few things. He's won me like maybe 0.03 of an ETH and like 2 cards that were worth like nothing. So in ETH terms, he's probably broke even. In fact, I have just managed to ride the ETH appreciation with him, which for a goalkeeper is actually quite a shit trade, especially a one that plays and is an international. But I wanted to sell him. I took the offer, and hey ho. It is what it is, because he's kind of got an injury, and I'm not going to wait for him to come back to peak price. I'm quite happy to sell him when somebody else is getting a deal, and at least I'm getting ETH when I'm asking for it, when I'm putting him out there to the market. No game, is there anyone else? Oh yeah, we've got tons of guys that need to get into training. I'm not going to do that on camera, that would just be brutal for you guys. Let's just put, no, let's not put Kessler defence, so let's put a midfielder in here. Right, okay, I've collected ticks. I'll get the rest of the teams later. I'm not going to bore you with that. Yeah. So I don't think I got any new cards. Did I buy anyone? No, I'm trying to negotiate for one defender recently. I picked up an Ibiaga from Pavel. I managed to snipe him on a direct offer. I don't think he knows, but yeah, it was Pavel. Got him for it was more than Pavel paid for him anyway. ETH terms double, in fact. I've got 0.0, basically 15th of, or 1 point, you know what I'm saying, 0.015. Just transferred to LASC. They've got horrendous defensive injuries, and he's a solid enough MLS guy. So I think he was on the bench the last game week there. Don't think he started, but I expect him to start. And for that kind of price, a starting centre back is kind of what I need. And if you can get him cheap, and he's a New York City kind of legend, if you like, he's been there since the inaugural season. I can just leave him in the back of my gallery, and he's an easy little guy to keep in the background for me. But no, I don't think I've done anything else. I'm still patiently waiting for Buta and Itakura to transfer to Celtic. If they don't transfer to Celtic, I will be selling them straight away, because that's the only reason I bought them. Dejan Jovalic is in town, so I cannot wait to see him get into action. I'm not really been doing much else, but I've been hearing quite a bit about the market's popping, and I've seen the SoRare data bot kicking off a good bit as well. It's been interesting to see, so I've been evaluating, and that's part of the reason I'm revisiting this video, is confirm always needed here. Yes, it kinda is, isn't it? Let's go shopping for Australian Bundesliga. Yeah, well, maybe. Quick query. I've noticed a few MLS and Japan players moving to Europe. Is this normally a boost to their price if they play, Graham? Because the chances of them, if you look at Mark McKenzie still doesn't have a card in a Genk shirt. He transferred there January last year. We do get in intermittent frequencies what they call a new faces auction, and it's guys that they've just not had a card yet. They'll maybe get a bunch of them together and whatever. They'll say, oh, it's this Sunday, the Power Hour is new faces hour. We're dropping 15 new players on the platform. Get the first couple of editions in this Power Hour, and most people tune out of it. Some people tune into them. Like to get a wee cheeky 1 of 100 once in a while, or whatever. So that kind of thing does happen. can happen, and he's still not got one. So it kind of depends on if they get another card and how good they are, you know, because Mark McKenzie now, or well, for a couple of matches anyway, was a really good asset to have, especially with a big multiplier if you've been holding him since pre-transfer. But if they go and they don't play, then they're not playing, you know. So not everyone makes it, you know, is an important thing as well. You need to remember, because as you go up the levels in football, it's quality means that so much, and fitting in means so much, because like at that elite level, like it is, you hear sports people talking about it all the time, like, you know, not seeing families and being away and all that kind of stuff, right? But because that is what's involved, the relationship you're able to form and how you fit into a group is really important. And some people are just more comfortable doing that when there's less pressure, or just when there's less required of them, you know. And that's not like anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. So it really depends the step that they're making, you know. For example, I see Josh Sargent has moved, the American lad, from Bremen to Norwich. Now last season at Bremen he was in a relegation fight, and he was playing like left wing, right wing, centre forward, kind of all over the shop. And going into Norwich, it will be kind of the same story again, but Bremen, equally to Norwich, are not an overly defensive team, and they've actually got some good like midfielders and whatever. So I think in that sense, you probably find he might take to the situation quite well. Whereas when you find guys make a massive step up in class and they go into a completely different situation, which is something that I hate football fans like kind of underestimating. You know, when they say like, oh, this guy's shit, he's only been here, or oh, this guy was, oh, he was good for this team, now he's shit for that team, or whatever. Is you need to understand, yeah, just the situation people are in, the system, what's required of them, what type of play, what type of people, you know, blah blah blah. So it's a real it depends answer. I'm really sorry, Graham, because I hate depends answers. They're the worst. Stefan, you guys are just, oh, show me prizes. Oh, sorry. Oh, Elliot doesn't suit a back three at all. Yeah, so I think Elliot and Finlay and all that played in a back three. I did see Paxton Aronson's goal for Philly. It was an absolute topper. But again, that team for Philly, they were resting like everyone they had basically, because they've got that one of these matches midweek. We just seen it, didn't we? Oh, they've got a CONCACAF match. So they rested a lot of players. That's why Finlay started. Probably why Paxton Aronson started, but they will all give their kids starts. These teams, they just do. It's proven, you know. So you can pick up a rookie card like that and think, I'll get 5 starts out of this if he's a good player, and if he's a shite player, you won't, you know. That can also be a good little acid test. Does he even get minutes, you know? Because some of these teams will just play the good kids. They just do it because they want to sell them. Marcel Paulus, what's up, Quinny? Let me see, nothing too much. I saw Barco have a masterclass this week and instantly thought of you. Marcel, thank you very much, mon frere. That means so much to me. I didn't even fucking play him. Can you believe that? Josh Forth, I have cards from Benfica and Spartak. And you've stacked Spartak last week, yeah. Ouch. Alibaba? What's up with your mate Johnny Russell? I don't know. I think they're resting him, to be honest with you. They've got like midweek competitions as well, and I think they're just, he is like 32 or whatever, isn't he? You know. So yeah, I wouldn't really read into it too much. And the thing about MLS is they do not many players play like every game of the season, just with everything that's involved. You know, as a technical league, it is physically demanding. You know, level aside and competition rate aside, no matter what you think of that, it still is, and especially when you add in travel and all the rest of it. The variety of surfaces and conditions that you play in is incredible, you know. 3G pitches, real pitches, high altitude, cold, hot, north, south, everything, you know. 12 hours away, different time zones, all sorts of stuff. So squad management is really big in MLS. Prime example, Christian Ramirez started like a house on fire at Aberdeen. Now that is actually, so again, Ronald Hernandez, super rare. I one recently went to Aberdeen last year, made like 4 appearances or something, and was by all accounts crap. So Christian Ramirez, being like a 32-year-old striker, has never really done much of it in his career, making the same move again can be written off. But again, like physically, like he's been in, with the greatest respect to Aberdeen, I've got no idea what their facilities are like, but I can promise you, like, the facilities in MLS probably across most of the clubs he's been at in his life will be of a much higher standard than what they are in Scotland, you know, because, you know, sports infrastructure in North America is just totally different class. So like, I'll see what I'm kind of trying to explain now. see what I think the perfect picture of it is, right? Is, see if you remember, some of you might remember this, right? If you remember when Arsenal signed Alexis Sanchez and Ozil, right? When they first signed both of them, like, they were amazing, they played well, and everyone was like, wow, finally, Arsenal spending money, they're doing big names, this is going to be their Arsene Wenger's kind of neck coming kind of thing. And for the first season, season and a half, 2 seasons, whatever you want to say about each of them individually, they were great, but as they slowly came down to the non-Barca and Real Madrid levels that they were at, is when you kind of found them where we kind of find them now, if that makes sense. So, and a big part of that, for at that level of the game, is about, you know, actual the players you're playing with, the desire to win, your actual technical ability under pressure, precision, give everything, all that kind of stuff. But when you strip that back and it's, you just look at it as like ethos, facilities, culture of winning, whatever. Guys that move down into other regions and other divisions, some things that actually is not special over here is really special over there, and those things can play a big part. So another thing I kind of think about as I'm talking is like when you get, we're seeing quite an out. Somebody just moved to St Trudin this week from Sagantoso. I forget his name. Is it Hayashi? So you'll find, you know, we're finding now, you know, Furuhashi. You know, we've seen a few other ones, of course. When you get guys moving out of the J League and moving into Challenger Europe, basically, some of them do really well. I've got a Kamada card. He did really well at St Trudin. He's done really well at Frankfurt. And some of them don't, you know, and the ones that don't, you won't know their names because they just go back, you know, they don't play. But the ones that make it, you know, what's good about them, and you tend to find some of these things, you can almost appear like stereotypes, like, you know, when you think about like Park Ji-sun or Shinsuke Nakamura, both of them are like archetypes of like Asian footballers, really, you know, in terms of what you get from them as individuals. But equally, that archetype, the Koreans and the Japanese players that do make it to the top, the traits they tend to have, by and large, will mirror that. You know, it's because those are the things that from where they're native to grow in prominence in what is important in the sporting culture, if that makes sense. So then when that transitions in here, if put in the right situation, those guys, their talents can actually be amplified. So anyway, the Christian Ramirez thing is interesting because he's kind of going, you might say horizontally, in terms of, I don't know, world opinion or world standing. I don't think the SPL and MLS, I know they're much different in size and a few other varieties, but if you ask public on the street, would you rather watch SPL or MLS, you probably get a 50-50 split between most people that are, you know, passive viewers. But infrastructure wise and whatever, it's definitely a backward step for somebody like him. Whereas if he did that same move, but I don't know, maybe he went to a country with better infrastructure, even like the Bundesliga 2 for example, his level would probably show out again, like, oh yeah, he's a kind of journeyman striker, he's good for a couple of goals off the bench at worst, you know. Whereas Bundesliga 2, standard of football, you know, be it as it may, but it's a facilities thing, it's an infrastructure thing also, because when you're against other people that are got all the tools and got all the utility and all the things at their disposal, you can get the most out of themselves. Whereas like the kind of point I'm kind of making is Ramirez at Atlanta, for however long he was there, a season, 2 seasons, I don't know, being trained in those facilities for a couple of years and then coming to play in Aberdeen, he's in a better position than probably most Aberdeen players in terms of like body fat and all the mad sports science numbers and whatever, so that doesn't surprise me. So I do, to answer your kind of question, that kind of thing, even though Ramirez's age goes against him, sometimes you just need to understand like cultural situations sometimes and how it might benefit somebody going from this situation to that. We find it a lot, we expect it a lot, and you don't think about it the same way when a high-end European player goes to MLS or when Iniesta goes to Japan. But when Iniesta goes to Japan, he's bringing like Spanish inherent qualities that he's grown up with and had his career about. And when he makes that transfer, that's what he's bringing to the table. And equally, guys that leave Europe and go to MLS, it's the exact same thing. You know, they're bringing the qualities that they've had through their career and they're trying to put it in. You know, they've been playing at this level, now they want to come down and play at this level, but the facilities at this level are actually the same. So some of these times, guys like Nani come in and they can blow it away because, you know, Nani gets probably the same quality of life Monday to Sunday in Orlando as he probably did at, I think, what was his last club, Sporting Lisbon? And before that, I want to say he was in Italy, was he? I don't remember where he was before Sporting Lisbon. Didn't go from Man United to Sporting Lisbon, definitely went somewhere else, didn't he? Was it Lazio? No, I'm tripping, it wasn't Lazio. Anyway, that's by the by. So that kind of, yeah, so we expect and we understand that for some obvious ones where it is like a step down in class, but we don't realise as well as like MLS, like that kind of thing, their infrastructure versus like, I don't know, your mid-table Italian teams or whatever, it's probably quite on par, if not maybe even better in America. So that's when level can really show, and the high quality players, like some of you guys won't remember this, but when Javinko went over to MLS, like it was like whoa. When he was like 27, he was like the first guy, big money guy, to really go over there and what you would call their prime. Bella's kind of done that a little bit, I suppose, but that's the same kind of thing I'm talking about. So again, it really depends. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry guys, I can babble. Just a heads up, Broja looks like he might be signing for Southampton. I picked one of his reserves up earlier. Nice. Evening chaps, hope you're all doing great. I don't know who Broja is, I'm really sorry. I thought I won my first reward tonight, tier 2 rare and all-star D3, missed out by a quarter of a point. Talk about kicking the plums. Paul, definitely. I'm getting deja vu, man. I'm pretty sure that happened to you recently. I see Bojan Krkic is going to Kobe. I've seen that as well. Mikey Baston replacing Furuhashi. I've seen that as well. And again, that's one of these things that sorry, beg your pardon, 2 seconds guys, to hop back over here. When I was looking at the board, I was trying to work it. I see I've not transfers, some of them have went my way, that's what I was thinking about there, but there's still some where I'm really worried about in terms of they might backfire on me and they might not pay off. So as I'm going through this board, as I, you know, you guys can see this picture, I've actually wiped this off there. I'm staring at this empty board and I'm kind of thinking ahead to what I'll be filling it up with, you know. But the board's been wiped clean. I've put in the extra divisions that we'll be tackling, and as you can see there, man, like it's just got to get to the absolute apex peak kind of, I want to say physical situation, but it's not physical, of course, it's, you know, but you know what I mean. Isaac had played today, yes, I seen that XMK get, I think he got like 60-70 minutes. Don't think his stats were pretty horrid, to be honest with you, but it was his first game back and whatever, so let's hope he starts the next match. Now that might actually make a bit of a difference to me. I've really kind of played this out before today, as I thought, right, if Isaka does play, then it opens up some possibilities for me to swing a card around and kind of manipulate it to suit myself. So I need to look at Isaka's stats a wee bit more and probabilities of him playing the next game. But yeah, I seen that. That was good news. That was good news. Mutu for Newcastle went to Kobe as well. Simo Hendo had said that as well in my group chat. I'm sure it was Hendo. Would you wait to go into the new scarcity if you were starting now, or go straight into it? Well, who knows when the new scarcity is coming? Because see, the thing with the new scarcity that I've got very much kind of middle of my mind whenever I'm thinking about it or trying to plan for it, like you're asking, right, is that as we have seen in multiple occasions thus far, not every card gets 10 rares, not every card gets 100 rares. I know I'm not the first person to say this, and I definitely won't be the last. Not that many cards are going to get 1,000 actually printed. I just don't see it happening for a variety of reasons. Now, what I think that out of 1,000, the real thing about it is it gives them the room, you know, so that if we all wake up tomorrow and there's an extra 50,000 users, they can just flip that scarcity's tap right the fuck up, you know what I mean? And it just satisfies that new user demand, which is what those cards, I think, in their tactical mind, you know, when they're forward planning the business and growth and scale and all that kind of stuff, I think they see that as the pacifier to growth, you know, in terms of like market control, protecting prices and circulations and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's the thing. It's something they can just turn on and off kind of as and when they want to a certain extent. So for that reason, I wouldn't hold your breath on the new scarcity, because as I've kind of touched on once or twice already in the stream, there is still some teething problems, or some problems that are cutting themselves through the gum of Discord as we speak, no doubt. That will probably hold back, by what length of time, who knows, some of the things. They maybe thought last week, for example, oh, we're 2 months away from this. They might now think, oh, we're maybe 10 weeks away from that now, actually, you know, that kind of thing, or whatever. So it's hard to say yes, I would hold off for that. I would definitely play it into consideration. So when I look at my page now, right, up at my balance here, I've got just under 0.8 of an ETH. You know, when I get my threshold payment for this game week, I will be over that, and then let's see if any other cards sell, whatever. When I'm building that balance, I was actually thinking about saying today as an idea for a video, so maybe we'll see how much detail I'll go into this in. But when I'm building that wallet up, I've got two things in my mind, and both of them could happen. It's the same two things. If any kind of number of events could trigger either one of them, and I just know I've got both of these ready. So if A, B and C happens, I'm going to do this, and if 1, 2 and 3 happens, I can do this. and I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to then present itself. So if you're building a wallet and you've got a bit of patience, you know, because patience takes practice on SoRare. If you've not been playing it for too long, it can be hard to be patient. And this is something, guys, actually, let me show you this, right? This is something that I have got a little bit of an edge with now, as does like a lot of the bigger, older accounts as well. But let's look at this, right? If I go to level, let's say 12, right? Level 12 and above, look at how many cards. I've not actually done this in this manner before, right? I've got 2 pages, guys, of cards leveled 12 or above, right? And as you can see with the multipliers, these guys are carrying Vanderveer, who's ancient old, is on 7.5%, so he's right down the road. I've got guys like Sani getting up to 12, 11.5. There's Navas at 12. I've got a lot of guys with big multipliers, 12% for Wirtz. Obviously, these will all lose their 5% season bonus when the new season of cards comes out, but my gallery doesn't have a high turnover of cards typically, and this really feels like a moment in time where I can feel the benefit of that, because a lot of my guys have got great multipliers. I'm not worried about season bonuses coming or going really, and while I've got my season bonus things on the guys, I'm more than happy to try and exploit that to the best of my ability. I noticed somebody got their season multiplier back, and I kind of thought, oh, that's kind of cheeky, maybe they shouldn't have that. But I can't see them on this list, and I can't for the life of me remember who it was. But somebody was back up at like 12% for some reason, or you know, something like that, and I thought, oh, he shouldn't get that. And he did. It's going to bug me. I can't remember who it was now. So yeah, so I'm being very strategic now in terms of how I'm building slowly. I'm just kind of looking at players that I know I could live without. You know, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. All the cards I've got now, but guys, are all really quite hard to sell. Because I love them all, and I'm quite lean at this point. And as you see when I go through this board completely, and that video drops, and you'll see on Thursday when you come back for that stream, like I've got so much strength and depth, high quality depth as well, which I fucking love. Rumours of Thomas Henry to Celtic. Really? No idea, to be honest with you. Shrewsbury Wolf, if you don't have a budget for quality rares, hold for the new scarcity and see what kind of prizes. Yeah, that's I suppose it's very wise words from Mark Lely. I feel that out of 500 would be better. Well, again, they don't want to revisit this again, Simon, right? So as much as, like, see, I actually don't think there is any need for a new scarcity, especially after demonstrating the Austrian League, because that is quite obviously to anyone not a top 20 league, right? Is it even top 10 in Europe is what I'm thinking now. That's not important. So by demonstrating that, they will sign, you know, the top 20 is the goal, right? But they'll still sign like the top 40, you know, like they'll still go for it. So if you're going to get that amount in over time, I think, and unfortunately no one really wants to be patient at this point because we've had such explosive growth earlier in the year. But I remember when I first started my account, and I was buying players, like, and I was thinking like, oh, I really hope like one day they really hit it big, I can sell them for good money. And now that is kind of a given sometimes when you're buying a good player cheap that it will happen. But I remember when that was a real like, oh, hope that happens, you know, whereas now the market's so well established anyway. So previously I would think, you would think, oh, what happens with the supply and everything. I remember I'd think, I'd buy a player like a Sorloff and I'd be like, there's no chance they're going to get, there was a very high unlikelihood that they're not going to get Leipzig in the next 12 months. And then in the fucking 2 months after that, they sign Liverpool, PSG, and Real Madrid and Inter Milan, and then I'm sitting here like, fuck man, they could sign Leipzig tomorrow, and then that advantage I've got with that card kind of goes away. So now anything seems possible. They could sign any team in the world tomorrow. Really, that's the position we're in now. So because of that, and I know they're signing deals and there'll be intricacies and difficulties with every one of them, right? But as long as we get a high enough supply of rares into the market, the rare price will go back to a level it kind of should be. And as time goes on, there's another 100 and another 100 and another 100. And unfortunately, as I said, that requires patience. No one wants to be patient. Everyone wants everyone's needs to be met as well as possible, which I understand and accept. But I really do think if you were to be a hard-nosed bastard about it and be single-minded, you could probably get away without a new scarcity, really, ever, I think. Really, it would take a lot of determination and a lot of stubbornness. It'd probably backfire before it would pay off. But there would be a payoff, I think, if you waited long enough. But hey ho, I'm probably wrong. But out of 500, yeah. But again, let's say they even just did go to 500, but it still says out of 1,000, and it means if they had that utility or that ability, they don't need to bring out another new scarcity and piss everyone off. They can just fatten that one out circulation wise. You know, they could just throw another 200 of each card out. You know, it doesn't really change anything. It's within expected parameters. You know. The only issue I'm having is problems with Coinbase under review. Fucking bastards, Coinbase, man. I can't believe that's still bugging you, Shrewsbury Wolf. Should deposit with Ramp. Yeah, Ramp's a good option. It's getting, but you need Coinbase to get back out, so if you've got a problem with Coinbase, definitely still sort it out or get one of the other alternatives. Well, I've just done the levels on my gallery and I have 7 cards, at least 14. Well done, Mikey boy. I'll actually try and fin that out a bit. That's good. So you get 7 at 14, that's lovely. How many have I got at 14? Ronaldo. Comment Ronaldo, the legend. I've got a few, don't I, as well. Again, a lot of my old cards, like all these guys, like a lot of my original buys I've still got. Like having these 2 guys up for sale kind of hurts me sentimentally, but if Trippier does go to Man United, I don't want anything to do with him. And Zinho I just don't need anymore because I've bought Itakura and Buta. Tani, Mark McKenzie. Was it Mark McKenzie got his season bonus back? Yeah, it was, by the way. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise I've not got these on this page. So, Mark McKenzie got his season bonus back. Please don't tell SoRare, right? But Mark McKenzie got his season bonus back, and I don't know how. Because MLS isn't a new season. I don't know, I think that might have been part of the rules, wasn't it? Is if they've not got a card, oh yeah, maybe they keep it for another season. I think, oh no, I think that is a rule, isn't it? I swear I'm not trying to cover from one hours. But I remember thinking, oh no, MLS has a new season and he's not got a card, so he should lose it. But I think that was the rules, like if he doesn't get a card, they keep it for one more season. I think it was to try and explain West Ham, and I also think they're preempting it happening to Liverpool because maybe they get Man City or an alternative EPL club this season. So I think that's more of an EPL rule, if you remember that thing they were speaking about when they were talking about the season bonus way back when. A few of these guys, multipliers are okay. Nothing else too special. All Black up at 8.5% is magic. I bought All Black the day before the XP penalty came in. I hadn't bought an All Black yet. It was about to come in the morning. I was like, right, who is the one person that I really want to buy with as much XP as possible? And that's All Black's had a glittering career, you know. Z-Noob, Marky Boy, Ricochet, and then me. And Bob twice. Bob had him on loan, glorious. This has been a storied All Black, to say the least. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, shall I sell my rares for the new tier? Surely all rares could drop in price. They keep it till new cards come out, I think. Is it? Until a new version of that guy comes out, is it? Got you. Jonathan B, well, that's a risky strategy, buddy. If you think it's the right thing to do and you're behind it, then cool. Shrewsbury Wolf, Doc, speaking a lot of sense, Quinny. Thank you. I don't know what you're referring to because the live chat is a little bit behind me, but I thank you very much for that. But so that is a little bit of an edge I feel that I've got with some of my players, is that I do have higher multipliers, and I will have higher multipliers when season bonuses get removed from a lot of people. So the turnover thing, I'm trying to keep that low, and I'm also trying to try and stay true to the course in terms of what I've been planning out for this period. But now let's see, I've got two things in my head. I want one of these or I want one of these, you know, and it's like whatever happens depends how things will pan out between me getting the appropriate amount of funds together and just the wild world, you know, of SoRare, crypto, demand, scarcities, form, user bases, blah de blahs, and everything in between. So I think that's the best way. We're talking about the new scarcity and stuff. I think you should always operate with like 2 or 3. One of these things will happen, or maybe all 3 of these things could happen. But what I'm waiting for it to happen is the one that I think shows some sort of sign of being the best option of the 2 or the 3, or what becomes the most likely outcome of a potential, you know, you're saying the new scarcity, maybe rare prices go down. So if you're worried about the price of rares going down in the new scarcity, what you're really worried about is you losing money on your gallery value, if that makes sense. In which case, what some good advice would be is sell a few of the higher worth items that will release some or remove some exposure for you. You put it in the back burner and you wait for the new scarcity with that. And some of your cheap guys, you don't really have much exposure to them, really. You know, like guys that cost you like fuck all of an ETH, they're still going to cost fuck all of an ETH, like tomorrow and the next day and the next day, unless something crazy happens, of course. And we've all seen those stories and those turnarounds and those tweets. So if that's something you're worried about, that might be a strategy to adopt, or something you can try and, you know, make your own in some way. Look at your own gallery, have that kind of thought in mind potentially, and try and cover both sets of scenarios. Or if I see this kind of sign that points to, you know, try and, you know, one of these two things will happen. Rare prices will go down, rare prices will stay the same, or rare prices will go up. I suppose there's probably even free for that. Probably see them going up as a direct result of the new scarcity, especially in the immediate aftermath, is like unlikely, to be honest with you, because market attention will just be going to the new stuff. So it'll either be holds and stays the same, or goes back, and then there is a margin in the middle here where it's like, yes, some things might go back 5 or 10% or whatever, but does that really register on your radar? Is that what you're worried about? No, it's not. You're worried about them halving in price, or you're worried about them falling off a cliff. You know, so you give a margin of error into these things as well. And then try and set yourself up and try and cover as many bases as you can to make sure you can move as freely and, you know, to your own discretion as easily as possible. What 3 cards do you think rise most in a boom? Are we talking people? Well, it has to be. Oh, historically, Mbappe is the poster child, of course. I think I just want to look at Mbappe. Actually, I never actually look at Mbappe on SoRare. It must be said. Let's have a look at see how many 7-6 he's up at now. I seen Zima Blue or somebody was going about sniping up hundreds of Mbappe, or not hundreds, but more and more Mbappes around the kind of 2-3 ETH mark, and I think that's kind of pushed the price up. And then, you know, things have happened since then. So good foresight from Zima Blue. Maybe somebody to watch out for if they start scooping cards. But I think it's Mbappe. I've got Felix for like the same. Like Felix is like I think John said the same thing recently about his Ronaldo he picked up. When I got my Felix way back when, that was my exact thoughts. Is when a boom comes, I need to have a card I can sell into the boom, kind of guilt free. It doesn't undermine my strategy or my club or what I'm kind of doing. Sorry guys, I lost track of the screens. So Felix for me is one of those cards. I think first time around that was really down to the Gary V link. Second time around, depending on where the boom is, what the kind of the propellant is for it. I don't know if Felix really is that guy, maybe. But I think Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar probably have to be the 3. But then you've got guys all over the place, like legends of the game, you know, like Cruz done really well in the boom, and other guys like Sergio Ramos. Real Madrid players are jumping to mind. They won so many Champions Leagues in recent history, of course. Lewandowski, Kimmich, Muller did really well at the boom as well. I remember trying to pick him up pre-boom and was thinking, I don't remember the prices right, but I'm pretty sure it was like 0.7ish. I was like, nah man, I'll get Muller down to half a coin, no problem. And then he's like, I don't know about he's at recently, I've not looked at him in a good while, to be honest. I've got no real need for him anymore with some of the buys I've made. But I think Neymar, Ronaldo and Mbappe are probably the 3. Maybe some of the Liverpool guys like Salah, Mane, Trent are good for that kind of thing as well, because they are the big EPL names. Those guys are Premier League champions and Champions League champions. You know, that is a really legendary squad at Liverpool that we're very lucky to have on the platform, to be honest. I say very lucky, but you know what I mean, like before any crazy seismic growth can happen, some of those are really good pieces to have if you wanted to sell them into a boom. But I think those are the best ones, like because when the big boom happened before, and what we're thinking about again when we're trying to think about that is big money coming in, big ETH coming in, and it is going to be the most recognisable cards. It's not going to be the super rares from America that fly. In saying that, maybe some of them will, like the Velas, maybe the Josephs, you know, the star names of the league, but primarily it's going to be the top shelf European talent, you know, the biggest and the best. Possible Messi card will be yeah, very possible. Every shot seems to result in a goal against Guzan. I think Guzan will save any more shots. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm thinking, shall I sell? Yeah, I think I've been there, sorry. Alex Dobbins, good to see you, my man. I think I'm up to date with the chat, guys. We're going for about an hour. I'm quite enjoying the chat. Some of the dribblies are getting out of me. Feels like I know what I'm talking about when I'm saying it. I'm sure you'll agree. But yeah, riffing on strategy is always good fun, but sometimes I just need a wee bit of inspiration for a path to run down. Take you with me. But yeah, my gallery is really, really lean. I look at some of these guys, like even like Vlasic, Pozuelo, some of these guys you'd maybe, I've dubbed them false super rares, I suppose, you know, but the star rare kind of guys, some of them I'm like, oh, do I really need them now? I'm kind of well set out with like super rares in this level, or I've got that other rare from America, or try to balance myself out. And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to doing with this video in terms of when I bump out the rest of that board. So I've got some really good choices, and this next game week, honestly guys, I can't say enough. It's going to be so much fun. There's about 30 of these here, guys, so thanks very much for joining the stream. Make sure you do like the video, of course. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves tonight. I don't think there's much else for me to take you through. I'll show you my team once again for the game week, since that is kind of the name of the game here. And then, oh, do you know what we'll do actually before we go anywhere or do anything, is we'll check the prize pool. So we're in under 23 D2 and we're 6th. Oh sorry, this is for this game week that we're trying to set up for. So let's see what tier 3 we could possibly pick up. Now I was really excited when I was 4th, because I thought, yes, I'm going to be at the top end of the tier 2 pool. And I remember from looking before, oh no, yeah, when I was 4th, I remember, yeah, so I've been top of the tier 3 pool, sorry, I beg your pardon, I misspoke. And the very top of the tier 3 pool isn't really that bad. This Labarati, Cassius guy's got a decent rep. George Koss, Santi Sosa, I'd take both of them as a super rare, I suppose, especially as a tier 3. And Bazo, this guy, yes please, I'd take him as a tier 3 reward. Kyle Duncan, Moses Nyman, there's a lot of decent guys here at the top of the pool. Sandy Dotson. Anyone else jump out at me? Eric Lopez, I've just sold him. Get him back for free would be something. Another Kessler would be fucking magic, by the way. I'd love another Kessler. Diego Palacios wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I don't know how he scores, but I know he plays a lot. Frankie Amaya, super rare, I suppose I would take that. And yeah, it's quite a big pool. I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom, because I think I'm at the top somewhere in terms of where my card will come from. There's some decent choices up there, man. Especially, I think the Kessler, like, it wouldn't be that exciting a card win for me because I already have it, but like, actually SO5 wise, it's probably the best thing I just seen there that I could possibly get my hands on. Quinny, what free card? Oh, sorry. Possible Messi. I still think that MLS has the best value. I love MLS. Like, I think super rare wise, you're definitely spot on. Super rares are so slept on in MLS. The sheer fact that McBride got that Cifuentes for the price he did, and some of the prices I got some of my super rares for, like, it's definitely slept on. And what you're going to see hopefully from my club is, like, as all these fixtures coincide with each other, my MLS super rares are going to be doing very well for me in under 23s and global, and I'm going to be winning really big fucking cards with these American cards against European cards. Because that's what really excited me about SoRare, is like, you don't need to have the biggest and most expensive. You know, the kind of position I'm in now, I'm kind of like obviously buying some much more pricey cards, but it is the whole thing, no matter where I've been at, is always like beating people I shouldn't be beating with the cards I've got. That's just the thing. That's what I want to do. That's what makes me happy, is when I get high up and it's like, I've fucking done that with that team, that guy I bought that nobody else has, or no one else thought to pick, or, you know, that's what I'm about, you know. So, but when you're at the kind of bottom end, that is also to do with like fishing the market and getting the price and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know why I come on to that, sorry. Oh yeah, MLS is good value, and MLS is just covered with like good athletes, you know, so as long as they're playing, then they've got a good coach and some good DPs around them, you can get some really good cards for very, very little. Ross, all I can see for you is can he see? Oh yeah, the price pool, sorry. Did I not have it on screen? Sorry guys. Farfan, I'll just scroll through again. So this is who I could win, basically. Who's your fave purchase of the past month and why? I don't think I've got too many purchases from the last month. The Jovalic was a trade. He's probably my favourite card I think he's my favourite card I've acquired in the last month. But I think I've actually acquired like Itakura and Buta and stuff like that. For there's anyone else in this pool, guys, that I should be quietly praying for, then feel free to suggest them in the in the live chat, and I will add them to my evening pre-bed prayer to the SoRare prize pool gods. I'm kind of really going for that Kessler. That's really what I want to get, to be honest. Yeah, I think Kessler is the one I want. Amaya would be tidy as well. I've got a lot of SR midfielders, especially for Champion America. Beg your pardon. It'd be nice if there was like a wee sneaky, like super rare, like Sporting Lisbon. You know, didn't really do much last season, but he's going to start this season type of guy. You know, one of them in tier 3. You got that. Oh, I seen Almada there. I got excited, but it's Facundo. The dirty slag, Lisa Kovic. Lisa Kovic is knocking about. I seen her earlier. I seen it. Would you say it's still worth looking into the MLS when the season is really? No, the season's halfway, mate. The regular season is now halfway. Shrewsbury Wolf. After the regular season, there's a series of playoffs, which I think for the team that wins it is maybe like 4 or 5 matches at a push. But the season is halfway. It runs all the way to December. There is a lot of games in MLS, and then the CONCACAF Champions League is like February or something like that, and then the season restarts in like March, April, something like that. You know, so it's, you know, how long you really wait between seasons. Because it's such a big division. It's a big summer division. On paper, it's not really summer friends in December, I suppose, but you know what I'm saying. That's the Bob of the pool. Yeah, so Lisa Kovic, Harry Kessler, Frederick Kessler, depending what it says in his card. Marco Farfan, I think they're not really Farfan anymore, so he's not playing. George Cox, I think he's somebody. Oh, he's got 0 cards left. I think he's maybe a Chelsea loanee or something. But he's British anyway. Maybe he still plays for him. I don't know. Santiago Sosa would be great. Go with a lot of Mad Atlanta guys. Andres Pereira would be good. There's Lisa Kovic there. And Bazo, I think, is a really good card. There's a few guys here. Kyle Duncan, that Moses Nyman. Majority MLS. But as I say, that's for me, guys. The main thing is the prize pool next game week. Is the thing I'm looking forward to most seeing. Probably more than my actual reward from this game week. You know. Would you say it's still worth having a look? Oh yeah, I've just read that. Sorry, Matt's Collier is a hope for me. Is that your favourite buy of the month? Collier, I'll check. Gianni of News. You can tell I mostly focus on Europe. Yeah, I probably should be both. Let me see the last month. Oh, maybe Furuhashi actually. What am I saying? Almost certain. Oh, the trap was within the last month. Oh, and legit. Wow, I've actually acquired a fair amount of cards over the last month. About a month ago for Acevedo. Jesus, it feels like I've had him for an eternity. So this should say like July something for it to be about a month, surely. 26th of June, 27th of June. So maybe not Acevedo. But certainly from legit 24 days ago, man, like I've still bought quite a lot in the last. Time is so fucking weird. So weird it really is. Like, doesn't it feel like I bought that many cards this month? It really doesn't, but I have. My favourite one out of these, it's got to be Furuhashi at this point in time, but Jovovich been such a limit print. Kevin Trapp as well. Even Max Phillip has got danger all over him. Sebastian Legit. It's hard to pick, mate. I'm going to go with Furuhashi because it's an easy card to pick. Nope, he's in tier 3. Oh, cool, is he? Cheers, Roscoe. Copy. Let's have a little peek at him. We German forward. Let me check. No, do I look at his cards? It doesn't mean it to me. They'll be cheap. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so he's a super sub last season, or the last 5 matches anyway. It would appear. Hamburg boy. For Hamburg 2, 62 starts, so it's that, like a goal 1 every 5 basically. Something similar for under 19s, and then for Willem 2, 67 starts, 12 goals, 10 assists. So that's a 1 in 3 decisive score from his starts. At the age of 23, I suppose I could live with that as a tier 3 reward. Super rare challenger forward, who is under 23 also. Still. Cool. What's he going for? He's going for not much, but that's fine. I would take that as a reward, Ross. That's a good shout, mate. I would take that as a reward. Not my first choice, but I definitely would take it if I got it. I'd just kind of cut my losses and go, okay, at least he's going to play some sort of part. Gianni. Oh, sorry, was that what you were saying as well, Mikey boy? Sorry. It's because the chat's a wee bit behind me, I kind of forget. Gianni of Mules. Oh, cool. His name's Justo as well. I used to have a player on one of my team called Justo. It was rapid. 22. Nice. Is he good, this guy? Have a wee glance at what he sells first. I've never really seen him before. Okay, not too much. Oh, he hit 100 against S2 He could be a good shout. Quilmes, over 4 seasons. There's a breakout youngster, I take it, and he's went to Newell's Old Boys at 21 or 22 years old. And wow, face, Jesus man, I might pick this kid up. What is it, a forward? U23? I've just got Jova Levic. I kind of don't need another one of these now. His super rare is a quarter of a coin. What does our boy Mason go for? I know as much as that. This couple of sub appearances has kind of nerfed his price a little bit, isn't it? Not as super rares, but his super rares are still worth a fair few bits of ETH. Unique is quite cheap. Sorry, oh, crikey, guys, I think that's the end of it. Yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed yourself tonight. Wish me luck on the prize pool for tomorrow. That'll be in your YouTube shorts. If you've watched this after we've been live, thank you very much. All involved, please do smash the like button. It helps your man out. Watch out for some sort of Mount Rushmore event coming this week, hopefully. Fingers and toes, we've managed to pull it off. And I'll see you on Thursday, guys. This video might be out before then, who knows. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Oh, when you see us. Got the numbers on the back. Ferran Torres. Catch you soon.